Overnight, an orchestrated automation retried a step and silently created duplicate downstream charges. By morning, a minor validation difference had amplified into a customer-facing outage. That invisible coupling, the gap between component SLOs and user-facing expectations, is the failure I want to fix today. I'm Adrian Cross. In 10 minutes, I'll give you a one-line Orchestrator contract you can attach to any composite automation so failures are visible, degrade safely, and remain reversible.
Quick note, this isn't about piling more metrics on teams. It's about declaring the one end-to-end invariant that actually matters to users, then engineering 3 light primitives to enforce it. Precision over noise.
Core insight. Point SLOs on individual services miss composite expectations. You can have every microservice within nominal bounds and still fail the customer's experience because the workflow as a whole violates an invariant, latency, success rate, or a semantic guarantee. The Orchestrator contract forces you to declare that invariant upfront, the single end-to-end guarantee consumers and downstream automations rely on.
Think of it as a compact promise. What the flow must deliver, how fast, when it should fall back, and who owns it. That promise is both human-readable and machine-actionable, so automation and humans react to the same expectation.
Here is the contract token you paste into the flow's config and your release notes. 1 line, 7 fields. Flow ID, end-to-end latency max, success rate threshold, degrade mode, compensation action, observability probe, owner, rollback leash. Mirror this exactly so tools can parse it.
And 3 paste-ready examples so you can copy, adapt, and ship tonight.
Example B. Agentic Onboard Saga, 3000 milliseconds, 98%, throttle, compensate, cancel partial creations, trace ID, probe, onboard complete percentage, last 1 hour, owner, agent platform, rollback, manual.rollbackrunbook_onboard.
Example C. Data sync composite, 60,000 milliseconds, 95%, shadow, compensate, queue retry, batch ID, probe, sync latency, P50, P95, owner, data platform, rollback, autumn stop sync and alert.
Those examples show trade-offs, shorter latency bounds for UX-sensitive paths, wider bounds where background batch work runs, and degrade modes that favor reversibility. Keep the contract minimal, 1 latency, 1 success threshold, 1 degrade action, so it's testable.
Enforcement Primitive 1. A cheap synthetic gate. Before you ship, run a synthetic execution that exercises the full path. Agents, external services, human handoffs, using canned traces. Record the contract fields. A synthetic run must meet the end-to-end latency max and success rate threshold to pass. Hook that into CI so deployments block on contract failures, but calibrated first in staging.
Implementation note. Keep these synthetics lightweight. Use recorded inputs, deterministic mocks where appropriate, and provenance headers. Who ran the synthetic, which artifact version, which environment. Run them on a cadence that captures variance, at least every merge and during pre-release checks.
What pass-fail looks like. A pass emits a contract pass event with latency and success rate fields. A fail emits contract fail with the failing probe and a provenance line. CI interprets fail as a block. But here's the risk. False positives because staging drifted. Mitigate by a 48-72-hour calibration window where you collect metrics to tune thresholds before making the gate mandatory. Enforcement Primitive 2. Degrade and compensate. When the contract trips, the system must move to a conservative, reversible degrade mode, shadow, throttle, or read-only, rather than a silent partial success. Pair that with a pre-written compensation action that restores invariance when the path recovers.
Example, if checkout latency spikes, shift to read-only mode for the new flow while allowing reconciliations to continue. Immediately schedule compensate jobs, idempotent refund, or queue retry, so customer-facing state can be corrected without full rollback, and log every degrade decision with user exposure estimates.
Favor conservative moves. Shadow is least disruptive. Run requests but never surface results, so you can observe behavior under load. Throttle reduces new executions. Read-only blocks mutations. Each degrade must include a compensation action that maps to explicit, automatable remediation steps. Enforcement Primitive 3. One-click rollback and audit. The rollback leash field ties the contract to a rollback primitive, a feature flag, an automated stop, or a runbook step. When contract fail hits a critical sentinel, a single safety trigger should allow swift reversal and create an audit trail that records contract state, failing probe data, and the provenance of the last synthetic run.
Make audits readable in your daily digest. Surface contract mismatches on the platform dashboard, so owners see trends rather than one-off alerts. That visibility turns silent coupling into actionable operational items.
Now 2 AI patterns to accelerate adoption. First prompt, infer candidate contract fields from traces. Give this to a constrained model with provenance lines and PR diffs. Analyze 7 days of traces and PRs for flow ID. Produce a suggested orchestrator contract, flow ID, end-to-end latency max, success rate threshold, degrade mode, compensation action, observability probe, owner, rollback leash. Include confidence stores and the top 3 evidence lines. Use only this output as candidate SLOs. Don't ship without human review.
Second prompt, synthesize a minimal degrade script. Prompt the model with the chosen contract line and ask, produce a minimal degrade implementation in pseudocode that maps directly to degrade mode and compensation action, includes health check hooks, idempotency guarantees, and a rollback leash trigger. Then apply a quick code review before deploying.
Both prompts accelerate work, but they must be bounded. Don't let inferred SLOs become law. Use them to surface plausible thresholds, then calibrate in staging. That's how you avoid unrealistic, untestable SLOs that block delivery.
7-day pilot. Concrete steps so you can prove this quickly. Day 1, pick one composite flow, one with repeated incidents or high customer impact. Day 2, publish the orchestrator contract in the repo and config. Day 3-4, run synthetic gates in staging for 48 to 72 hours to tune thresholds. Day 5, enable degrade path and compensation action in Canary. Day 6, exercise the rollback leash in a controlled drill. Day 7, measure mean time to detect, contain, and repair, and note customer exposure.
Fast action. Publish tonight's contract for the flow you care about. Run a synthetic pass in staging and schedule a 30-minute rollback drill. Start small. Prove you can reduce customer exposure and contain incidents faster. If you follow the plan, you'll move from silent coupling to observable, reversible operations.
If you want the prompts and the 3 example contracts in copy-ready form, subscribe and you'll get the episode notes with the exact tokens and prompts to paste into your tooling.
Publish the contract tonight. Run the synthetic gate. Exercise the rollback. Make your next move count. And stay agentic.